LeBron and Kevin, you're great players, but no one voted for you. Millions elected Trump to be their coach. So keep the political commentary to yourself, or as someone once said, shut up and dribble.
Welcome back to AM Joy. Right-wing talk host Laura Ingram must have forgotten a cardinal rule. Don't come for the king when he has not called you. Ingram's pique was brought about by LeBron James' comments about Donald Trump in an interview with The Uninterrupted, a media platform he co-owns.
The number one job in America, the point of person, is someone who doesn't understand the people and really don't give a about the people.
And after Ingram's rant, the king fired back on Saturday.
Well, first of all, I had no idea who she is or what she do. It lets me know that, you know, everything I've been saying is correct. For her to have that type of reaction, we will definitely not shut up and dribble. I would definitely not do that.
Ingram has now invited LeBron James to be on her show because, of course, she would love to be able to book LeBron James, who doesn't even know who she is. And in a statement from Fox News to AM Joy, Ingram denied that her remarks are racist, but doubled down on her intent, saying, quote, if pro athletes and entertainers want to freelance as political pundits, then they should not be surprised when they're called out for insulting politicians. Well, that's a curious argument, considering not only the long tradition of athletes taking a political stand, but that Ingram's own network often lets entertainers make cameos as political pundits, as long as they hold the Trump-approved state media point of view. Fox News has used former underwear model Antonio Sabato Jr., who has repeatedly questioned President Obama's religious faith, to appear on their air offering his expertise on mass shootings. They book Duck Dynasty patriarch Phil Robertson, who says black people were happier before the civil rights era, to go on Fox to discuss strategies to combat ISIS. Not to mention Fox's dear leader himself, Donald Trump, who cut his political teeth at Fox News, casting doubt on President Obama's citizenship, and whose major qualification for being not just a Fox News political pundit, but as far as Republicans are concerned, for being the President of the United States, is that he was a reality TV show star. My panel joins me now to discuss. Tiffany Cross, managing editor of The Beat DC, Eric Bollert of Share Blue, William Roden, columnist for ESPN's The Undefeated, and Jennifer Rubin, opinion writer for The Washington Post. So here a little bit more for you, Bill. I'm going to start with you on this. Is Laura Ingram's rant on Thursday that started all of this, saying that LeBron is, quote, running his mouth. Take a listen.
This is a Jump Doc alert. NBA superstar LeBron James is talking politics again, and this time it's R-rated. Here's his barely intelligible, not to mention ungrammatical take on President Trump. Must they run their mouths like that? Unfortunately, a lot of kids and some adults take these ignorant comments seriously. Look, there might be a cautionary lesson in LeBron for kids. This is what happens when you attempt to leave high school a year early to join the NBA.
First of all, he did graduate from high school and is a international superstar because of his talent. But what do you make of must they run their mouths like that, Bill?
Yeah, well, I mean, where do you start? I mean, it's so ridiculous on both sides. But again, this is sort of one of these social media firefights that is just part of this generation. In other words, you come at me, I come at you, and we keep putting fires on the log, and her mission is accomplished. People didn't know who she was. I mean, some people are associated with her, but what she wanted to do was get in front of sort of this national audience that follows LeBron, and as he mentioned it in the thing that you showed, mission accomplished. People didn't know Laura Ingram. Now they do. And then what'd she do? Hey, why don't you come on my show? Yeah. Which to some extent is sort of the bottom line. So in the first go around, what she said was racist, but she's not playing to our crowd. She's playing to her crowd. Yeah. And that's kind of where we are. And LeBron knows who he is, but he said, well, you come at me, I'm going to come at you. He knows who he is. He knows what he's done. She just wants him on the show. Yeah,
absolutely. and LeBron James, he's had a sort of multifaceted response to this, Tiffany. First, he tweeted out this Instagram photo. It's a neon sign that reads, I'm more than an athlete, with the hashtag, I will not shut up and dribble. And then you had Kevin Durrant, who was actually in the car with him, in the video with him, saying about about Ingram's comments. Our president made it cool for people to kind of speak their truth and kind of show what they're really about. It's cool to uncover that now. So now we know it's coming. We know if we use our voice, and it's not what some people might agree with, of course, they're going to say ignorant things like that. To me, it was racist. And then the coup de grace delivered by LeBron James, thanking her for the opportunity to speak. Here is LeBron.
The best thing she did is going to help me is create more awareness. I get to sit up here and talk about social injustice, equality, and why a woman on a certain network decided to tell me to shut up and dribble. So thank you, whatever her name is. I don't even know her name, but I appreciate. What is it? Nobody knows. Oh, Tiago says no one knows, and that's perfect.
Tiffany.
Okay, well, they're obviously both more than athletes. They're tax-paying citizens well within their right to express their concerns, shared by many Americans in this country and what they're doing. But I think what Laura Ingram did was highlight her own ignorance. There's been a long, rich tradition of athletes weighing in on political issues. So This is the same woman who would have told Muhammad Ali to shut up and fight when he was protesting the Vietnam War, or told John Carlos and Tommy Smith to shut up and run during the 1968 Olympics. So she sounds ridiculous. But if you know what she said, Joy, she said that this is dangerous because there are children and some adults who will believe this. And so that's really the fear. They don't want our athletes speaking conscience and truth into our communities, because then that will incite a movement, and that's not what they want. Moreover, the descendant of colonizers does not get to tell the descendant of slaves what they can talk about and when they can talk about it. In Wakanda, she's not allowed to speak.
Hey, okay, Wakanda forever. And Eric, there is this extent to which Fox News has decided that the grist for the ratings mill is black people. Right. Black NFL players, black NBA players. I mean, you had Eminem make a music video attacking Donald Trump. That's not interesting to them. Right. And the grist is always black and brown people because they know what it sells. And yet you have Laura Ingram taking such umbrage and saying, oh, how dare you say my words were racist? Absolutely not. Here's Laura Ingram with umbrage on Friday.
Many claim my line that LeBron should shut up and dribble was racist. What? I wrote a book 15 years ago, fairly well known, New York Times bestseller, called Shut Up and Sing. And I've been using variants of that title to call out political celebrities for 15 years without regard for skin color, where you came from, what you do.
Setting aside the fact that she thinks she's way more famous than she is, and that way more people know her book than that actually do. Yeah. LeBron James did not know who she was. But this idea that, oh my goodness, how dare you call it racist? All they do all day and all night is find black people to put on TV and say point and point and point and point and look at them. Yeah, no, there's a couple larger contexts, right? In the last 8 days, I mean, they're panicked. The last 8 days, they don't want to talk about a wife beater in the White House. They don't want to talk about another mistress being paid off. They don't want to talk about a school massacre. And they don't want to talk about Russia indictments, right? So they have to expand the reach for the outrage, and they end up sounding like a chat room from Stormfront or any of these white nationalist sites. So what's interesting is for years, Fox has expanded the boundaries for conservatives and Republicans in terms of this is how offensive you can be. We will cover for you. I think this is an example. They're now taking their cues from Trump. Yeah. Trump is showing Fox News, you can be as racist as you want to be. And this was as racist as Laura Ingram has ever been. And she's been doing this a long time. And we had a black president for 8 years. Yeah. She has upped it because Trump is sending the signals. All the guardrails are off. No common decency. Yep. I will cover for you, and you will cover for me, and we will go ahead and all bets are off. All bets are off. I mean, at this point, Jennifer Rubin, some neo-Nazis are good people. Right. He's covering for the support he gets from David Duke. It's all off the table. I think Kevin Durrant was exactly right. It's literally throw off your inhibitions. If you have these feelings about black and brown people or Jewish people, let your freak flag fly.
Exactly. He has attempted to normalize what was abhorrent in public discussion, what we used to call polite society. What a quaint notion that is. And the implication, not simply of her tagline, but all of the slurs on his intelligence, on his education. She never makes those comments about white celebrities and white athletes. She specifically took him on over his intellect. And that is the most racist slur that a black man man is somehow stupid or less educated than a white man. So, yes, Fox is in the business of essentially rerunning the same story over and over again. An illegal alien did something bad, and we should throw them all out and build a wall. That's their kind of narrative. That's their go-to narrative. Their other narrative is that urban cities, even though we've had an enormous decrease in crime, are hellholes, and we need to get rid of them because of illegal aliens. So it is this nonstop patter of racist innuendo. And, of course, the big one, where did the whole birther movement really get its wings, get lift? It was Fox. So I think it's time for the shareholders, for the advertisers from Fox to take a good look and say, do we want our companies, do we want our money to be associated with not only a racist outfit, but one which is really destroying civil dialogue in a democracy? And I think people have to begin to withdraw themselves, withdraw their money, withdraw their support, withdraw their product endorsements, because this is a noxious stain on American society.
And let's give LeBron his, more of a voice here, because he may not know who Laura Ingram is, and it's clear he really still doesn't. I don't know how that booking is going to work out, but he definitely knows who Fox News is. Here is LeBron James on Saturday during All-Star Weekend and talking about Fox News.
When I was growing up, there were like 3 jobs that you looked for inspiration, or you felt like these were the people that could give me life. It was the President of the United States, it was whoever was the best in sports, and then it was like the greatest musician at the time. This time right now, with the President of the United States, it's at a bad time. And while we cannot change what comes out of that man's mouth, we can continue to alert the people that watch us, that listen to us, as this is not the way.
And not only that, Bill, but he added on Saturday, that was him talking on this show, on his, the news outlet that he owns. He said, I think the engine that she sits behind, Laura Ingram sits behind, doesn't have a great rap sheet when it comes to race in our country and things of that nature. There's been many people that are not African-American who spoke on the same issues I spoke on, and they didn't say anything to them. Right,
yeah. Let me just say this. I mean, clearly, Laura Ingram has her agenda. It's a racist agenda. Getting to the sports metaphor, though, we have really got to take care of our locker room. And that's the thing. Misogyny and attacking black folks, as you mentioned, is a multi-billion-dollar business. Now, here it is. The NBA has invited this group called Migos to be its official entertainment. I just happened to go through some of the lyrics. And now here you have the NBA is talking about the N-words, B's, and that kind of stuff. I get that, but, we really have to kind of attack the stuff that's coming at our people and our women. And Ingram, that's what she does. But I think that really, I think LeBron's voice, Steph Curry's voice, these guys, they say, okay, that's okay, but we really have to begin to stop the stuff that's directed at us. So I get what we're saying about Ingram, but Ingram, that's sort of like the Boston Celtics playing the Knicks. Well, the Boston Celtics are trying to beat us, but let's clean up our locker room. Let's make sure that we use our podium to stop the stuff that's coming at our kids. The music is telling our kids to kill each other. The music is talking about black women. The misogyny. I mean, that to me is a very fundamental enemy that we've got to stop. Ingram is supposed to do what Ingram is doing. That's her job, is to do that. But our job is really to clean up our locker room, make sure we're on the same team. And so I like LeBron and those guys not to get distracted into a firefight that at the end of the day means nothing. What really means something is an industry that's making billions of dollars of, as you said, attacking black people and attacking black women.
Well, I do have to, my one sort of pushback on that would be that when the president of the United States is attacking individuals, does it not take somebody of LeBron's stature and fame to be able to attack back? He can speak for people who don't have that kind of a platform.
Right. I couldn't agree more. And I don't disagree with you, but I think LeBron James is doing exactly that. I mean, he backs up his words with action. He spends over $41 million sending kids from his hometown of Akron to college. He funds a STEM camp for third graders all across the country. Right. And his philanthropic outreach extends beyond our borders. Right. So I
but it's not either or. We could do both.
That's my point, and I think that if we highlight what they are doing instead of highlighting Migos, then we'll see more of that.
And last word to you on this, Eric, because Fox News is not going to change. There is a merger they have coming up. The incentive structure to keep doing this is just too strong for them to not continue, right?
Yeah, they'll keep doing it. And the other key point here is they have been whining about losing the cultural war for decades, right? Hollywood, TV, music, they are not interested in this hate mantra. And so, they're losing the pop culture, youth culture, hip hop culture. They've lost it all. So now their basic point is just shut up.
Yeah.
Like we'll bring up, as you showed, we'll bring up washed up B actors if they'll spout some Republican talking points, but they have no say in pop culture anymore. Nobody wants to be associated with this rancid stuff. And so their backup is Laura Ingram is just shut up. We can't argue with it. We're not on the same page, so just shut up.
All they can get are the C-list actors, Chachi, an underwear model from the 90s.
Yep.
Y'all don't have the culture with you, so I guess attack the culture. Tiffany will be back later in the show.